A pause in a relationship can be medicine for some connections and poison for others. And the biggest mistake people make is believing that a pause is a universal solution. It isn't. A pause only works as medicine in relationships where there is a heavy load of mutual obligations, situations where life itself has become difficult. Marriage, for example, where almost every action is no longer done the way you want, but the way it has to be done. Stress accumulates, tension grows, negativity builds quietly. Children, mortgages, endless routines, responsibilities that never stop. You coordinate every move with each other. Your relationship has long stopped being romantic. You no longer associate each other with something light or inspiring, but with duty, pressure, and obligation. In such conditions, if people never separate even briefly and never spend time apart, after a few years they don't just get tired of each other, they begin to hate each other. That's why pauses, when used correctly, must be introduced earlier, before resentment hardens into disgust, when there is still warmth left to protect. This is not theory. Anyone who has lived long enough in serious commitments understands this intuitively. Even a few days apart can reset emotional perception. Distance restores softness. Proximity without rest destroys it. The longer you are with a woman, the more these technical pauses become necessary. But not all people require the same amount of distance. From some, you need to rest more often. From others, less. Compatibility is not identical across all pairings. However, the real problem is something else entirely. In most cases, when people ask about pauses in relationships, they are not married couples crushed by responsibilities. They are people who are simply dating. Often they don't even live together, and suddenly the woman says she wants a pause. A pause from what exactly? From what are you resting? From pleasure? From entertainment? From sleeping together? Eating together? Watching movies together? From evening walks and shared laughter? What exactly is exhausting here? Are you tired of good food? Of interesting series? Of comfort? Are you saying you need solitude to seriously reflect on your entertainment? That is absurd. Imagine your best friend comes to you and says, "I need a pause from our friendship." Meanwhile, you've been hanging out, laughing, drinking, enjoying life together. No obligations, no pressure, no problems. What would your reaction be? You'd assume he lost his mind, or that he's joking badly. It would sound ridiculous. And yet, when a woman says these exact words in a romantic context, men suddenly treat it with extreme seriousness. Here is something crucial to understand. A woman will almost never look you in the eyes and say, "You disgust me," or "I want another man." She won't say that. Instead, she will say she needs time to think. It sounds noble. It sounds mature. It even creates the illusion that she is doing nothing wrong. But the human brain is biological. It does not get tired of pleasure. It gets tired of pain. If pleasure is present, there is nothing to rest from, which means one thing: she wants pleasure with someone else. A pause is appropriate only when life conditions are genuinely extreme, when there are several small children or a child with special needs, chronic sleep deprivation, constant overwork, sick parents, no help, no energy, no strength for intimacy. In those conditions, people snap at each other not because they stopped loving, but because they are exhausted. In such cases, yes, a pause may help. But if your life consists of popcorn 3 times a week, sushi, Netflix, and comfort, and under these conditions she starts talking about a pause, then it is a lie. And it is a specific kind of lie. Because saying "I'm tired" or "I'm confused" sounds better than saying "you repulse me." In 9 out of 10 cases, when a woman says, "Let's take a break," it means only one thing. She has already found another man she wants to try. The pause exists to remove obligations, to legalize contact with someone new. Its function is to reset her previous vows of loyalty. Now she can flirt, and her conscience stays clean. Even if the new man touches her, she can tell herself, "I'm not cheating. I told him about the pause." And what's truly fascinating is that during this so-called pause, if you so much as message another woman, you will be branded guilty for decades. You will be called a traitor. Notice something else. When a woman proposes a pause, there is never a clear plan. No concrete timeline, no structure, no goals. Everything is vague. Why? Because she isn't thinking about you or the relationship. She's thinking about where she's going tonight. This is equivalent to a husband telling his wife, "I need a break from our marriage. I'll live separately for 6 months, and then maybe, possibly, I'll think about family again." That would sound insane. Mentally unstable. Yet many women say this seriously, without blinking. It's important to understand that a pause only works when you are the one initiating it. If a woman suggests it to you, she is simply looking for an elegant exit. And the clearest sign that you've been deceived is her emotional state. She isn't anxious. She isn't afraid. She isn't suffering. On the contrary, the pause feels comfortable to her. So what is a man supposed to do in this situation? The truth is uncomfortable. You have no comfortable options left. If you agree to the pause, she will legally explore another man, and in the next 2 weeks, you will vomit stress in the bathroom more than once. Every new like, every new male follower, every moment she is online, each one is a massive dose of anxiety. This pressure is unbearable. At any moment, you could receive a message saying, "I realized everything. I love you. Can I come right now?" Or another message saying, "Sorry, I met someone else." This uncertainty is psychological torture. It's like waiting to find out whether today you lose everything you own or suddenly become rich. No human nervous system tolerates that for long. Most men break around day 3. They demand clarity, and she responds, "So you're against the pause? I wanted what was best. I asked nicely. You ruined everything yourself. Every reaction you have is weaponized against you." Manipulators always offer a choice between 2 types of misery. Eat this or eat that. The option of not eating at all is never presented. If you refuse the pause, you become a controlling tyrant who refuses to work on the relationship. If you accept the pause, you become a hostage locked in a basement, occasionally fed crumbs, while the queen decides whether to betray you or not. There is no winning move inside this frame. If you refuse, you will be destroyed. If you accept, you will wake up every day in cold sweat. Your face will turn gray. Colleagues will ask if you are sick. And after this sadistic prelude, the final blow will still come. The pause allows her to escape the feeling of cruelty. It also helps justify the breakup. We tried. We worked on it. I gave him a chance. The story is ready. Now she can move on with a clean conscience. But here is the truth. No woman wants to be alone. If she doesn't want your arms, she wants someone else's. Agreeing to a pause is worse than humiliation, because at least humiliation is voluntary. Here you are forced. Many men cling to the fantasy that she is sitting alone, thinking about life. She isn't. She is having fun with someone. So what should a man do? Continuing dialogue is pointless. Texting, calling, explaining. All of it only positions you as guilty. You look at her and say, calmly, but firmly, "Pause. Did I hear you correctly? Are you sure that's what you just said?" And then silence. No explanations. No arguments. No lectures about how pauses don't work. And absolutely no suggestions like, "Then let's just break up." Because then she will flip the story and make you the villain who abandoned her when she wanted to fix things. The entire focus must remain on her words. Show her, verbally and non-verbally, that what she said was foolish, that it was ugly. Let her feel it. There are no alternatives that preserve dignity. When children are involved, the strategy changes. But without children, this is the only position that does not destroy you immediately. A pause is not about rest. It is about permission. And once you understand that, the illusion disappears.